Hello and welcome to the Learning Reading Hub. If you have a child that is learning to read or about to learn to read, you may have heard of phonics and how this system is widely used for teaching reading. But do you know exactly what phonics is, or are you wondering what it is? If that is the case, this video is for you because after watching this video, I think you'll have a very clear understanding of what phonics is, and that, in my opinion, will make a huge difference on how well you'll be able to support your child in his or her learning to read journey. So, let's get started. Phonics is a system for teaching reading that focuses on teaching the individual sounds of a language, in this case of the English language, and how they relate with letters. After learning these relationships between sounds and letters, we learn to blend or push all the sounds together to read words. For instance, once we know that the letter B makes the B sound and the letter U makes the A sound and that the letter S makes the S sound, we are ready to read words such as bus or sub. This is a gift that alphabetic-based languages give us. Each letter of the alphabet represents a sound. We do not have to learn or memorize individual words all by themselves. We can rely on the code to help us read. Reading in alphabetic languages is nothing else but decoding. However, the phonics system has certain limitations and complexities. One of the main problems we have is that we have 44 sounds in the English language. However, we only have 26 letters in the alphabet. But English has come up with ways to sort out these problems, as you will learn. I will talk about the limitations and complexities in the English language, and I will briefly talk about the solutions we can find to these limitations. Limitation number 1. Letters can make more than one sound. For instance, the letter C can make the K sound, as in cat or cot, and the S sound, as in scent or pencil, and even the Sh sound occasionally, as in the word crucial. Luckily, there are normally reasons why sometimes letters make one sound or another sound, and we can learn these rules and patterns to help us read these letters successfully. Limitation number 2. We have letters that, when together, make a new sound. For instance, when we have the letter C and the letter H together, they normally team up to make the ch sound, as in chat or church. Also, the letters T and H, when they go together, they team up to make a new sound, such as the voice th, as in the word this or that, or the voice th, as in the word thing or thick. This is one of the genius ways in which the language has sorted out the problem of having more sounds than letters. Limitation number 3. Different sounds can be represented in different ways. For instance, the S sound can be represented by the letter S, but sometimes, as we've learned before, is represented by the letter C. Another example is the F sound that can be represented and normally is represented by the letter F, but sometimes, less often, but sometimes is represented by the letters P and H, as in phone, or even by the letters G and H, as in laugh. Limitation number 4. Silent letters. Sometimes letters can be silent in English. Normally, there's a reason for them to be silent, but we need to learn why this happens and when it happens. A very popular example of this is the magic key, which occurs at the end of words and signals the previous vowel to say its name rather than making its short sound. This is why we read these words like this: make, take, time, rather than make, take, or time. Limitation number 5. Exceptions and irregularities. Of course, there are exceptions and irregularities. These exceptions actually talk about the history of the language and how it evolved into the language it is right now. The good thing that I've noticed with these exceptions in the English language is that they follow patterns, and we humans love patterns. They really help us stick things in our long-term memory. For instance, you can learn about the letter H not making a sound and being silent in the words when, white, where, why, all at the same time rather than separately. Seeing the same pattern in all of these words will truly facilitate your child's job. So, while the fundamentals of learning to read with phonics are easy, the layers of complexity that the English language presents, or any language, each language with its own set of difficulties, also mean that there needs to be a well-thought order and a structure if you want to be successful at teaching a child to read with phonics. Some of these concepts can be tricky for children, so you just can't introduce them all at the same time. You need to go slowly, practice a lot, and build upon what your child already knows in a very gradual way. This is the reason why sometimes some educators neglect the gift and advantage that having an alphabetic system gives us and use certain strategies such as making children memorize words. This is very unfortunate. In my opinion, it really sets many children for failure and turns many others into just average readers. The key, in my opinion, is using a system, a Learn to Read phonics program that has thought of all these complexities and has come up with a structure and an order that makes sense. If you want to know more about this, you can check this video. I will also leave you a link on the video description, as well as other links to many free useful resources that you can use. Remember, it all starts with teaching English sounds and their letter correspondences, and then with mastering blending, practicing with easy words. But it is crucial you tackle and introduce all of these complexities to the student in a way that makes sense. Bye and see you on the next video.